What's happening, Trace?
Not a whole lot, my man. Just dealing with a kid, you know.
Yeah, I do know how that goes, actually. Believe it or not.
I got out two invites. I got the invite to the host and the main chat. I don't know if you want to send us some more hosts or invites to anything else. I'm about to put up a post real quick, so if you could grab any requests from mics and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Man, just to tell you why you're doing that. So, I've had these connection issues for a while. Man, I had them come out today. They replaced everything from the pole to the house. Wire was all fucked up. So, hopefully that fixes all these connection issues I've been having. From there, I got some invites out. I'll get some more out in the other chat through the computer here. Let me get Dead Pics on. What's happening, Dead Pics? Oh, he's connecting in now. You on the mic, Dad?
Yo,
What's happening, bud? How you doing today?
yeah, I feel great. I don't know what got into me, but I slept well, did a lot of overtime, fucking got the streams up and running, bro. We got it up and running through the schedule, so I think I know what to do now. I just gotta clean it up a little bit, before we start. That way, the people don't see the YouTube, studio page and all that crap. But besides that, the stream's up. We're good. We're kicking.
Nice. I downloaded some plugins and I can go live on as many platforms as we want for free. I can go live on vertical platforms too, which is like Facebook Live and shit like that, where the camera sits vertically. Um, they have some stuff for combining all of the chats, but it's still kind of, I don't know, like you got to do some weird shit to make it work. So I'm going to skip out on that until they can bring it along. But I got our Rumble all set up, and then I don't know. We're gonna do one more. I haven't decided which one yet. I'm looking at a couple of the big formats. We'll get one more going, so we're doing three of those, and then we'll hit a bunch of the small ones each week. Not small, but like Facebook Live isn't going to get you too many views. It kind of just gets people to. It gets it to pop up so people can see your name and see that you're there. YouTube's been growing. Our views there have been growing every week. Rumble will be someplace similar. And then actually, I had a small list of them. It doesn't really matter right now. We'll get it all hammered out in the group chat or whatever. But, man, what'd you think of that Max Holloway KO?
Man, I woke up my niece. I woke up my parents. I was fucking screaming. I'm pretty sure the neighbors thought that someone was being murdered, bro. I that whole night, like just betting wise, was not it for me. But once we got to Max Holloway, man, he made everything back for me, and then gave me some breathing room. So that was beautiful. It was, oh my god.
Dead. It's funny you say that because I was sitting next to my daughter on my bed watching the fight, and we were just like chilling next to each other. And then I just fucking jump up and I'm like, oh my God, he is out. And I'm just loud. And she's like, did someone get knocked out? And I'm like, yes. Oh man. Yeah, that shit had me I can't say popped out of my seat because I was on my bed, but I definitely like jumped up.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. I got to say, all the credit to Max. I doubted him. I didn't think he had it in him. Um, yeah, I got to give Max a lot of credit. He fucked the last 10 seconds. I mean, that's the great part. Don't get me wrong, but bro, he put it all out. He absolutely owned that fight. Gaethje won none of that fight. None of it. Even the knockdown wasn't like I felt like, oh my god, he's about to finish Max. Like man, credit to Max. Him going back down doesn't make sense to me. He looked he looked as good as I don't want to say as he's ever looked, but he looked top notch. He should stop doing the weight cut, man. He should bust a few out at 155, in my opinion. Trace.
Yeah, he looked like a problem, man. Yeah, but for sure, whenever the knockout happened, me and my wife were in bed, and I jumped out of my bed in my underwear, brother. I was hopping, hooping, and hollering. Yeah, it was pretty wild, man. I cashed that plus 1,500 KO round three, 4, or 5 on FanDuel that I gave out, and yeah, man, that pretty much saved my night as well. Outside of that, I had a good bit of money on a couple other fights that didn't go too well, but yeah, thank God for Max Holloway. But yeah, man, looked phenomenal at the weight class. I think he should stay up there. I think he could. He may not be the champion there either. I mean, I don't think he's gonna be a gatekeeper anywhere he goes. If he's a gatekeeper, he's the top 3 gatekeeper in probably both divisions. Uh, yeah, man, I thought he looked phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought so too. Aussie.
Hey, yeah, I'm glad you guys cashed off that. I sure shit didn't. Gagey was my biggest one. Well, yeah, probably my second biggest bet of the year. I didn't see Holloway having any success before the fight, and then once he kind of landed that kick in round 1, it looked like that was kind of all over. But yeah, I don't know, man. Max Holloway, what a fucking beast, man. Has there ever been someone more well deserved to hold that BMF belt? It's a bullshit belt, but my God, he is definitely one of the baddest men to ever do it. He risked it all in that moment, not just losing the fight, uh, but he was going to be a meme. His legacy was going to be a meme if he was on the other end of that knockout, calling someone to the center of the cage and getting knocked out in the last 10 seconds of a fight you were winning. Like that would have just been totally insane, man. But he pulled it through. He did it, man. The balls on this fucking kid, I don't know. He's unreal. He's something else. He's what
Did
every
you
other
hear?
fighter wish they were.
Oh yeah, he definitely it's phenomenal. Like he was just so exciting. But did you hear what Dana said about the belt itself? I know they had asked about like Amanda Nunes like wanted a female version of the BMF belt. There will be no other females division. It's one dude. It's not it's unisex. It's the baddest motherfuckers. What he said. It is not going to be gender split. So there will only be one BMF belt. And like you said, man, I don't know if there's anyone more deserving of that belt or that title than probably Max Holloway, man. Just a fun fighter, always been fun, and stayed humble his entire life, man. Just a badass dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
in
just the way
fuego.
he got it done, incredible.
Yeah, so I was in the crowd at UFC 300, and
Whoa, you were there, man. That's
I was
insane.
there. I was there, and
Congratulations, brother.
you know,
Did you see Cade?
no, I didn't see. I saw this. I saw the octagon and a couple beers, and that was about it. But I don't know if you guys share the same opinion, but that fight, all in all, wasn't the best fight. Watching it live, even, it was kind of. I looked at my wife and I go, "God, this is the BMF title. It's kind of boring, to be honest with you, because Max dominated, right?"
Yeah, it's
But
funny you said that because I actually put that in the group chat. I think it was yesterday that overall the fight overall wasn't the war that it was built up to be, but the last
but
10 seconds will
yeah,
forever go down in history for sure.
but
But the
I was
rest of the
gonna
fight,
say I've been to like 10 live UFC events. By far and away, that was the biggest crowd reaction and the biggest pop I've ever heard at a UFC event, and I was left just with my jaw on the floor because of how amazing that moment was. And so that last 15 seconds made up for kind of a lackluster fight, and because I really don't think it should have been fight of the night, but that last 15 seconds, it live in the crowd, I'll never forget it.
yeah, I said like overall like, you won't remember the fight. Everybody will remember that last 15 seconds, and that's enough, man. Because I mean, we've like I said, we've seen it done before. We actually had somebody make one of the guys made I think it was a TikTok of him doing it with I believe it was Ricardo Lamas. Like it wasn't the first time he's done it. He's done it a few times, man. But like this time, he fucking delivered, man. Yeah, it's gonna be one of the most iconic knockouts for a long time for sure. But
It was
I feel like the fight as a whole was a bit of a letdown. I thought they were gonna stand in the center and trade pretty much from the start. Really, I thought it was more or less gonna be Gaethje coming in and forcing an ugly fight, but he didn't really do that. But then again, Max didn't really let him.
Yeah, I
So
was
do
gonna
we
say
do
it was
we
a clinic. It was a clinic by Max. Like you don't I'm not the hugest Max fan, whatever, but like round for round, moment for moment, Max Holloway showed levels of striking to Justin Gaethje, and there's just no way around it, bro. He showed him, like, you ain't gonna do that, duck your head, throw the fucking blind overhand. I was so impressed that Max was able to throw the spinning kicks up the center, right up the center. That's how he got him at the end of the first round. That was not by accident. So because he did it again 2 more times. Justin Gaethje has this thing he does to close distance where he literally covers up and drops his head to fucking waist level and steps in with an overhand. And it works pretty successfully, and it's pretty hard to do anything about it. Max Holloway able to identify the tell and then do the spinning back kicks right up the center to bust him in the face was the only like logical will fucking hurt him defense and not hurt me, and him being able to do it, bro. Those counters were way better. That counter at the end of the first round with that spinning kick was way fucking better than the knockout to me, as far as being impressed by Mac's skills. Like, it was fucking leaps and bounds IQ ahead of what Gaethje and Camp had planned. Connor, I seen you with your hand up. Go ahead, bud. Oh shit, maybe he was just clapping. I thought he was putting his hand up. He's not even a fucking speaker. He's
Hey,
a
hey,
listener.
Joe, do we all agree now that, like, we had this kind of absurd conversation about a month ago that Max Holloway is much more of a threat to Tapuria than Evloev? I mean, after
Yeah.
what we just saw, do we all agree that, or are we going to go down that train? The track
So here's
still.
my problem, and I'm not just being like the super devil's advocate or being the guy who can't switch over. I still will not. I'm not convinced that Max will look like that at 145. I'm sorry. I'm not convinced he's going to go down there and look like that at 145. My opinion of him at 145 is still what my opinion of him 145 was before this fight. It's that he doesn't hit hard enough to really put people out, and he's slowing down. Up at 155, where guys are a little slower. And Gaethje's not a slow guy, but he's probably what I would call typical speed up there. Max looked fast, or at paced with the extra weight. He had some power. He put Gaethje out with 1 second left after 25 minutes of a fight. So, like, I'm thoroughly impressed at 155 at this age. Max going back down doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but whatever. I mean, whatever. YB, go ahead.
What's up, boys? Hope everybody's having a good night.
What's happening,
It's
bud?
almost like I sensed y'all were talking about Topuria, and I'm head of the Topuria Dick Rider fan club, so I just like sensed it in my body and had to come. Yeah, I would love for Max to stay at 155. I think the level of striking, I mean, it's obvious, dude. We all know this. 125, 135, 145, like the skill level is different as you go up. He's great at 155, dude. If he goes down to 145, cuts all that weight, and then fights a fucking power puncher, not like the same power puncher of Gaethje. I mean, like, you look at that Jai Herbert fight, bro. He hit that man, and it looked like he died against the cage. Like, and I know Max isn't gonna get it against the cage, but that man hits like otherworldly hard, and it's just not. I don't like it at all. I don't like the fight for him. I wish he would stay at 155 and have some really crazy fun fights. I don't think he ever holds a belt again, but I love the guy. Everybody loves the guy. He's great right where he's at. Especially, can you imagine like the DP rematch right there? Charles rematches right there. There's so many fights for him, but he's gonna go down and get fucking flatlined by Topuria.
Do we think Gaethje lost the most in that loss on the whole card?
Yeah, I agree with the sentiment that I'm not going to say his title aspirations are over, but man, that is a tremendous blow at the point he is at in his career. I'm going to pivot the conversation a little bit. I think I don't not I think I have a huge issue with the BMF belt, and the UFC refusing to do 135, 145, 155, 165, 175, 185. I have a huge problem with it. Like I'm to the point of starting to feel like this is getting fucking ridiculous. Like I'm actually irritated by the whole thing to my core, and it's all because Dana doesn't want to move over to 165, 175. The commission that approves all that shit approved it all. It's been wrote into the rules. The referee, everybody recognizes all of those weight classes, and they recognize 170 in the middle because of the UFC, and all of the other promotions admittedly have to follow the 170 protocol of the UFC because fighters don't train to fight at 165 or 175 because the UFC doesn't do it. And I don't think the UFC is a monopoly, but they are the leader and they don't do 165, 175. So it is fair to say that the mass majority or the vast majority of fighters are going to train for 170. It irritates me to my fucking core. Like I'm actually like, it's probably the first thing ever with the UFC that's just driving me so crazy. Like I can't stand it. I'm not going to quit watching or nothing, but like it's the first thing I can recall about the UFC that like I just can't take it. It's just fucking driving me crazy. I don't know. We can pivot over to, did everybody see the new gloves? Any comments? Anybody read the we had a post. I don't know if someone can pin it.
I'll pin it, but could we go over it real quick?
Yeah, so the name of the gloves are the 3-8 and the 5-8 gloves. That represents 3-round gloves, 5-round gloves. They're the exact same gloves except for the color, the graphics on them. They'll start using them June 1st in Newark. The key features and what I put in our tweet. So those are the images. Credit to those are the UFC's images. They're not very readable. Like they made it very, very tiny, even on my computer screen. You couldn't read it all. So I just edited the text in much bigger so everybody could see it. But narrowed down, just naming them out with all the stuff they have on their website. The key features are they are 1 to 1.5 ounces lighter. They are made from all genuine leather. Seams have been minimized for cut reasons. They use a Vicus, a VICIS reflex foam layer stack technology. They use a triple padded, like they use in the picture, they use 3 different pieces of padding now over the knuckles instead of, I'm assuming it was just one before. They've inserted a data chip that will identify and authenticate gloves to fights, which is badass. And here's what they're not going to say because other people have the technology and it'll become a big fight. And they probably don't want to admit that they are going to copy other people. If those chips can identify, if they're chips that can be pinged for identification, they are chips that could be pinged with a high frequency, I don't know frequency, but high powered machine. They'll be able to measure punch speed and probably some other dynamics off of those chips if they choose to. If those chips can be pinged for a signal, those chips can be pinged to be read at all times. I know enough about computers to promise you that that is true. Wristband locking system. It doesn't look real complex in the pictures, but it says that it's so that fighters can't grab the gloves, can't get their fingers under there, or is at least not as easily. That's pretty cool. Added padding at the index and pinky fingers. Tapered finger design. That makes sense. So they taper down at the ends of your fingers so they don't stay big and bulky. They're a unisex glove. That makes the most sense. It should be one glove that can be used on anybody. The sizes start though in extra, extra, extra small. I could have just said triple X, but I didn't want to. And extra, 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 extra large. I could have said quad X, but I didn't want to. They have a scooped, angled a scooped, angled finger holes. I don't know exactly what that means. I'm going to assume it's the way that it manipulates the way that their fingers want to naturally sit. But I don't know. I'm really glad that they did something about it. And I'm not just being a company man. Here's what I'll say. If the UFC has a department that's designing and improving gloves, I have to feel like we will probably see gloves redesigned or a new model come out in a few years. I don't think it'll be another 30 years before we see a glove. At least I hope not anyways. There's no reason for it. I thought they should have chips in the gloves for a long, long time. Yeah, just for punch speed and shit. I want to know. I don't care. I'm a junkie. I want to fucking know. I want to know. I wish I knew in Justin Gaethje's peak prime how fast he threw that right hand. Like, I really wish I knew. There's a few guys, bro. I wish I knew. YB, what you got?
I just had a question because I just got in here. Did you guys talk about the whole Jamal Hill nutshot thing?
No, we did.
Or not yet?
No, I got some stuff wrote up for the card here, and we'll touch on that. Then we'll probably transition into
All right,
after
bet.
this.
Bet.
So we kind of talked about Max called Ilia. Listen, without trolling, just realistically, let's give him 2 more fights. Bo Nickal and Chimeav. I'm going to start with Trace. What are your thoughts? Because they're not going to let it go. And the media, listen, I started following Maymac the day Conor McGregor said his name because I knew the media would make it happen. The media and Chimeav are going to hold on to this fight until it happens. So, what are your thoughts on Chimeav Nickal?
They better not. That's all I gotta say. I mean, like if you're trying to make another hype train, you don't put another hype train in front of a real train. Yeah, if you're smart, you keep them two separated, and save that fight for whenever it's actually time, and it's not just a jumping competition. It's actually an earned shot or an earned raise in competition. Like I think he needs to go through the top 20s, the top 15 before he starts going in and getting rid of killers like that, man. I don't know. I even think that, like I said, I even think that Hernandez was too much for him. I think Hernandez destroys him.
Really? That's
Hey,
surprising.
bro. Hey, that college wrestling don't work against Dagestanis, brother. And Fluffy's a Dagestani. Don't you forget it.
Ozzy, what you got, bro?
Yeah, hey guys. Yeah, I'd like to see that fluffy fight. I'd really like to see where he stands, but he throws hard like Bo. I know he didn't put him away on the feet, but you could tell just for the few punches that he was throwing, man, he puts everything he's got into those strikes. Against Fluffy, who knows? Is he going to try to take him down? Fluffy, he has a lot of problems, can present a lot of problems from his back. He's a pretty good grappler, submission grappler, opportunist. I think it's an interesting matchup. Yeah, I'd like to see it. Seen people saying Gerald Mearshart. Bo probably waxes him on the feet. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, you
But yeah,
guys
I
just
want to see
hate.
him
You
push.
guys are
I
just
want to see him
racist. You guys are just
not dominate
racist.
these early rounds. I want to see what he looks like. I wouldn't have a problem with him, headlining a fight night even against someone like that. We've seen much worse headliners, and I don't really want to see him at minus 2,000 again. That's just crazy. What's the point? We need to see him challenged. Yeah, I'm not saying fast track him. I don't want to see him against the top 10. I think that this version of Bo Nickal versus someone like Khamzat, he loses that fight. So he's still got some work to do. Only had what was that, his 6th fight? Put him in against someone else, keep him busy. I'd like to see him fight another couple of times this year. He could probably be in there again next week. So yeah, give him a few shots at some higher ranked guys. I don't want to see him fighting anyone ranked below him. I think he was 35th or something. Yeah, it's only up from here. I don't want to see him in any more squash matches.
100% agree. And Fuego.
So I got the perfect matchup for Bo Nickal. I was thinking about it today, and I want everyone's opinion. I think the perfect challenge for Bo Nickal next is the Iron Turtle. What are your thoughts?
I don't hate that at all. That's a legit competition, well-rounded fighter. Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
He's won his last couple by submission, hasn't he? Turtle, is he in a win streak? I think he's won his last 2 by sub. I could be wrong. But yeah, that's a decent matchup.
YB.
Bro, and Fuego took exactly what I was looking at the 185 division or whatever, all the rankings, and that's like as we're talking, right before he said it, exactly. Iron Turtle, he's 33 years old, not on any crazy win streak, not too much of a challenge. Bo's got some time to go, like really some time to go. You can't, dude. Khamzat would murder that dude, and obviously we know how good he is at wrestling. And he does crack. He's got the power. He's working on everything, but it's much too soon to even like you think about it, bro. Fluffy, I don't want to see that fight. I don't think he wins that fight. Andre Muniz, Kyle Bahalio, Chris Curtis with his crazy takedown defense, even though I think he's a Twitter bitch, but whatever. Roman Dolidze, Jack Hermanson, Paulo, dude, like all these people are just not. I don't know. I don't want to see any of those people against Bo right now. And I understand everybody's gonna hate, like, oh, well, he keeps getting fed easy matchups. Like he said it Saturday, bro. He's 6-0, and he hasn't had any MMA experience. Yeah, he's a wrestler and all these other things, but that's straight up wrestling. That's not MMA wrestling. Fluffy, dude, Cody Brundage got out of a few takedowns. He was giving him a pretty good fight before he got freaking murked, but nah, dude, do not get him anywhere near Khamzat, Kaio, Brendan Allen, Robert. Dude, no, Iron Turtle for sure.
Hey, Trace, you can send me back a co-host thing, bro. That wasn't even my connection. I got the connection fixed. My fucking phone died. I'm such an ass, bro. Like, if it ain't one thing, it's another.
What's the turtle ranked?
Does
someone's just looking at the rankings?
Yeah. So my question is, does anybody think he beats Fluffy?
Yeah, I do. I think he's still.
I do not. I think he gets submitted.
I think they still put him as a -300 against Fluffy.
I think it'd be a higher number than that, but over the 3 rounds that they would fight, round 1 maybe he'd get taken down, maybe round 2 or something. But we all know how Fluffy fights. You got to really murder the dude to get him out of there. Bo wouldn't be able to do that.
I'll tell you, I'd have some.
Chimeav is 11 and Fluffy is 12. That's all I'm saying.
I would have some Fluffy round 3 props going in that fight, though. You know, his cardio is just insane, and we'll see what Bo's like if he's pushed. That's an interesting fight. I hope they do make that one because Fluffy round 3 is going to be a decent sized bet.
Just so you guys know, the only weakness for Fluffy Hernandez are guys with diabetes. Those are the only kind of guys that can knock him out.
Turtle is number 23, by the way, and Bo is 27.
Yeah, so that's good.
Really nice jump.
Yeah.
Give him another 6 months to do it. Fight, then another 6 months, another fight, boom, done for the year. Next year, 2025, think about Fluffy, maybe.
Yeah, what's D-Rod? D-Rod's got a fight coming up, yeah? He's middleweight, right?
Nobody knows who that is.
He's got
D-Rod fights at 170.
He's got a fight.
170. Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks.
I'm gonna move on from this one. Sorry, boys. Bobby Green, Paddy Pimblett. Who wants to see it? Because I do. I want to see it so bad. That was my favorite call out in probably fucking 6 months. Yeah, hands down. I hope they make that fight.
Hey Joe, it's not letting me send you a co-host.
It's probably because I already was and fucking powered out of this bitch. Whatever. Yeah. So Bobby Green, Paddy Pimblett, my favorite call out 6 months. Anybody else want to see that fight?
I'm down. That sounds good.
I think Bobby could piece him up right now. Am I crazy?
Man, my only issue is how hittable he looked in that fight against Jim Miller. Jim Miller's not the fastest. He's not the best. I mean, he's not a bad boxer, but he's not the best striker. Like, he's not known for being the best striker. And for him to go in there and have a good amount of success on the feet against Bobby, like hurting multiple times, I do have I would like to believe that Paddy has more power than Jim Miller, and if he gets hit clean, he could go. We could see another meme knockout. I would probably bet Bobby because Bobby's probably gonna be a sizable dog in that fight.
Oh,
But
no, you're getting plus 200, two something on his ass for sure.
yeah, I would need good dog money on for sure. But yeah, I would probably lay a little bread on Bobby in that fight.
You guys are saying that Green would be plus 200 against Paddy?
Probably.
Oh, I disagree.
I don't think he should. I don't think he should be. But I think that he goes undervalued. But I think he should win that fight.
I think he opens at plus 145. That's just me.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that, but I think it would be plus 220, plus 205, plus 210.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's going to be that high, but I do think he opens at dog money. Is what
That's an auto play
at.
on Bobby King Green at plus 200. Auto play.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
All right, this one here is for Connor J. Tom Aspinall says he would like to fight Ciryl Gane. Says Ciryl Gane has ducked him in the past twice. Says Ciryl has ducked him, and he'd like to get that fight done. But hold the fucking buses because AP wants to fight Tom at 301. Man, I remember motherfuckers telling me he's not gonna beat Jamal Hill. He's not gonna fight at 301. You fucking crazy, Joe. Anyway, my dude is ready to fight at 301, and I think there is a possibility that Tom Aspinall takes that fight. Tom's been negotiating and around, and it's been talked about that Tom's talking about fights, and man, I think it could happen. I think maybe that's why there's not a hard headline on 301. I don't mean a hard headline, but like, come on, that card's not selling. Let's be honest. But you stick AP and Tom on it right now. Woo! After that knockout,
Joe, I'm pretty sure I read something about him messing up like 2 different toes. I don't think that fight's happening in 3 weeks.
I was about to ask.
I don't think it's happening in 3 weeks, man.
Yeah, the toes happened like 3 weeks ago, though. So you'd be 6 weeks out on the toe injury that he just fought and knocked Jamal Hill out fucking cold on.
So let me ask you this then. Because I think it's fair to say it's a possibility. But if you were to put a percentage on it of the possibility of it happening, what would you say? Because for me, it's like 15 to 20%.
I don't know if I could gauge it in a percentage, but I could say it this way. I think the probability is that it does happen, but I have thought that it was going to happen this whole time. So ever since they took him off and then AP said he wanted to do it, I've thought he was going to fight on 301. And I've thought more than one time that he was going to fight Tom Aspinall on short notice. So for me, I feel like it's very probable because I was just talking, I think in the chat, it could have been in a DM with someone, but I think in the chat, I was just talking about how 301 needs a fight over that main event. And I did say in that discussion that I think that they're hoping that AP gets the dub and can fight at 301. Aussie.
Yeah, so Aspinall's the interim champ, right?
Yes.
So I can't imagine him taking that fight and defending the interim belt unless they strip Jones and make that for the belt. There's no other way.
So he's already
take that fight.
Aspinall's already looking for a fight. He's already come to the understanding that if he doesn't defend that interim belt, they're going to take it from him. He's already figured that out because they will. If he just sits there, tries to hold out for John, they gave him the belt because John is out and Stipe is out. If he sits on that belt, just like they did, was it Colby? They took Colby's for sitting on it, right? He refused to fight, so they took that motherfucker.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, I would I would definitely assume I'm getting pay-per-view points and shit. If I'm the interim top champion and I'm headlining a card on,
Oh, he is
hardly any notice. So that
100%.
might be enough to get him over the line because, I mean, there's a fucking path for Aspinall, man. He just come in, shoot. Like when fucking Herb Dean or whoever's reffing, as soon as they say fight, before Herb gets to the tee, fucking Aspinall should be halfway through shooting. Like you cannot spend 1 second on the feet with this guy. We've seen before he shoots real quick and get guys down, tap them out. That's what he's got to do here. So I can definitely see a path for him, but nothing else is going to be on his favour heading into Rio or wherever it is in Brazil, short notice. And make no doubt about it, they want that. They want to be able to say he's a 3-time champ, 3-weight class champ. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do make it for the belt. Tell John, yeah, when you come back, you're fighting the champion. How long are we going to wait for Stipe? Who knows what the deal is? But they definitely want to be able to, like, what's the point moving up, getting that heavyweight fight, winning that interim title? Are they ever going to call that a 3-weight division champ? And like, in your opinion, would they call that a 3-weight division champ on the record books? I don't know how
So
they
I
do these
called.
interim belts.
So here's why I think they may make it happen. A, because coming off of that knockout, he's red hot. And if you put him on 301, which is going to be a horrible sell, it probably sells a couple 100,000 more because he's on it. It definitely makes the Brazil event go off the charts. But everybody in here that was here that day can attest, and I expect my roses after it happens and motherfuckers are like, oh, I called it. I expect my guys to be like, no, Joe called that. Fuck everybody. I said 2 days after he won that belt, the 205 belt, the only fight left for John Jones is Stipe Miocic. Tom doesn't make sense, and John versus Tom doesn't sell anything more than John could sell on his own. Meaning John can fight anybody and sell the same that he's going to fight with Tom. So for John, what is the upside, right? Like we can all dog the Stipe fight, but it's going to sell a boatload of fucking pay-per-views. It is going to sell a boatload of fucking pay-per-views. So we can talk shit about it, but it makes dollars, so it makes sense, right? Um, I like Tom. I think Tom is the future of the heavyweight division with all my fucking heart. I really do think he is one of the few guys that are the only reason that the UFC's heavyweight division even has validity, right? But he's just not, for John at the end of his career, there's nothing there. But if AP wins 3 belts, becomes the first guy to win 3 belts, 3 weight divisions in the UFC. Does it, and it'll be, if he does it at 301, I think it's 13 fights or something, and I don't know how many UFC fights it is, but it's like he did it record fast. That's a legacy fight. That sells. At that point, people are gonna pay to see Alex, whether it feels like it or not. He's gaining good ground on social media. He's very likable. His fans show up at press conferences, so he's got a fan base. He gets that 3rd belt and gets John to fight. I think he's the only guy that could get the John fight after Stipe. And I think if he doesn't get that belt, I don't think John fights him or Tom. Um, that's just what I see coming. If Alex could pull it off, John may even skip Stipe to fight Alex if he knocks Tom Aspinall out and becomes the first guy to do 185, 205 in heavyweight. Zabet.
That's the bigger fight, Joe. I reckon. Like
Yeah,
that's the bigger
it's
fight there.
massive, bro. It's
Stipe is so
massive.
far out of everyone's mind now. Pereira is the new hotness. Yeah, Pereira versus John Jones is probably the biggest fight they can make in the UFC right now.
I agree with that. Zabet.
Yo, what's good, Joe? What's good, everybody else? How you doing?
What up, bud?
Doing good. On that topic, I honestly, shout out Alex for the great performance this weekend. Just great performance. I don't like the thought of him fighting Tom, I don't know why, but I think they need to get rid of John Jones this time. Just retire. Let the division like play its course without him.
But why? There's no division. It's not like it's 2 fights. It's 2 or 3 fights, and the whole division is. You've seen everything there is to see, and the division is only the top 6 or 7 are fucking worth watching. So what? I mean, like, I'm not even being a dick. Like, there's just no reason that they should want to push John or Stipe away from heavyweight fighting right now, or turn down that pay-per-view because they don't have anything else. I like Tom a lot. I like Ciryl a lot. Those are probably the 2 best guys under John right now. I don't think they sell 500,000 pay-per-views. I just don't. I don't think they. I think they break 4. You know, like a lot of cards get to that 4 something. Yeah, just my opinion. Like, I just don't. It's not lucrative for the UFC to let it all go. On the topic of Alex fucking crushed Francis Ngannou's punching force record. A couple days or a day before he knocked Jamal out. So Francis recorded a punching force of 129,161 units. So 129,000. Alex recorded a punching force of 191,796 units. Holy shit. There is nothing to say to that except for holy shit. I have a lot of questions. It's been 6 years. Have you made any adjustments to the machine? Have any of the sensors changed? Has any of the calibration changed? I do have a lot of fucking questions. I have a lot of questions. But I know AP is a big fucking dude. And I know he hits like a truck. Just holy shit. I wish we knew what the Joe Pyfer numbers were. They say Joe broke his record 3 times. And the guy that works with the machine, I don't know. I think he's like the guy who built it, and he's there with the machine when it's used. He insisted, they said that something had to be wrong with it. He didn't tell them what. He wasn't able to change anything, but he did something and told Joe, okay, do it again. And Joe did it again. And he told Joe, okay, do it again. And Joe did it again. And he still wouldn't recognize it. So him, and I think it was Sean Brady that told the story. And I think it was him and Sean Brady and someone else that were there. And they were just like, all right, fuck this. And they walked away. Yeah, goddamn. Dead Pigs, ain't heard you on the mic yet, bud. What's happening?
I was about to say, damn, you mean to tell me they took off some screws and fuck with the fucking hit pad and all this just so fucking Alex could outscore Francis? I'm like, damn, they're really trying to erase Francis from the UFC's history, huh?
Man, he got knocked out. He ain't got no punching record no more. He fights in the PFL.
He's a bum. He's a bum, I tell you.
Man, they buried the fuck out of him, Dad. Like, yep, he wasn't even here.
Hey, man, I'm a company man, so, like, and man, people would shit on me, but rightfully so, man. Rightfully so. That's what you get when you fucking bite the hand that feeds you.
YB.
Bro, I was just gonna say, when Alex hit Jamal, dude, that punch looked like it had nothing on it. I swear to you, it looked like he just barely even. I don't even think he knew he was gonna fucking knock him out. He just threw that shit out there, dude. And Jamal folded like Johnny.
No, I gotta
It was
disagree,
insane
bro.
to watch.
I think AP knew it, and I'm not trying to build it up, bro. I've watched him back Herb Dean's ass off, bro. It's got to be the most apex moment in UFC history. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, it has to be the absolute most apex short series of events that we have seen, bro. He was walking him down. Herb Dean tried, Jamal kicked him, started backing up. Alex just started going in. Herb tries to come in. He fucking stops him without ever stopping what he's doing and walks over and knocks him the fuck out. Man, that shit was. Maybe he does hit at
I've never
109.
been more happy to see somebody knocked out.
You're
Except for
breaking
tomorrow.
up for me. Pretty bad. I don't know. I thought it was beautiful, if I'm being honest. I thought it was fucking great. And Fuego.
Yeah, I read a comment on Twitter today that now we know that Jamal Hill came back too soon. And I got to be honest with you, I disagree with that opinion in that I don't think it would have mattered when Jamal Hill came back, whether it was when he did or a year from now. What happened was going to happen. What do you guys think?
I agree. So here's what I think. I think Jamal Hill is a natural 205er, meaning like he probably does walk heavier than that, but in shape, in great shape. He's probably not much bigger than 205. And he's a strong guy. I think, I got nothing bad to say about him. AP cuts pretty hard to get to 205. Even at the same height, he is much bigger. And I had no question he would have presence when they were in front of each other. He's big as fuck, dude. He's big framed and he hits wide. And like whoever said it looked like the punch didn't have anything on it, it never does, in my opinion. I've never felt like I watched him punch somebody hard as fuck. I'm always just like, God damn, they just went to sleep, huh? Like that was it. I never feel like I watched him swing with everything he had. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just don't feel like that's what I see. Aussie.
Yeah, mate. This is the only way I really seen this fight going was Hill getting KO'd. I didn't see what everyone else was seeing. I know a bunch of people were on the Hill KO, but you're talking about one of the best strikers, if not the best striker we've ever seen in the UFC versus Jamal Hill, who's pretty much a boxer with not great footwork, not great head movement. He's got terrible defense. His hands are always down. And this is one of the worst matchups for Hill in this division. Hill was never going to go for takedowns. He was never going to wrestle. So what were these guys going to be? What would the odds be with these guys in a kickboxing match? I mean, this was a kickboxing match with 4-ounce gloves, and the world class guy beat the other guy. And I don't know, man. Coming off the injury, coming back, I thought, in hindsight, Pereira should have been a really big favourite. And I don't know. I had a lot of belief in him. I just wish I had to put all that Gagey money on Pereira, because then I'd be jumping up and down. But yeah, Pereira, man, he's the truth. And Jamal Hill, I think he's overrated. If you look at his fights, like his fights against Santos, like he was really sloppy after that second round, man. He just fights really bad. Like I know he was tired, and Santos was tired, but the same thing in the Glover fight, man. He's so sloppy, and Glover kept hitting him with that left hook, and you know that Pereira's seen that in the footage, and he's told Glover that left hook is going to be there in this position. Keep this distance. This is where you're going to hit it, and he hit it over and over again, and Pereira only had to hit it once, and it was all over. So yeah, unreal. But I mean, if they lined that fight again, if they had a rematch, like, how big a favourite do you think Pereira's going to be? Is it still people think that Hill just got unlucky and got caught? Or what? I don't know. But I know for a fact I'd be betting Pereira again, because I don't know, man. That just played out the way I thought it would.
Yeah, I called it the same way you just did was how I was calling that fight. And I'm not mad at anybody that called Jamal, and I'm not trying to be on a high horse about this one at all. I just, bro, like you said the best striker maybe we've ever seen in the UFC. He is literally one of the best strikers in our lifetime. He go watch him in kickboxing, bro. The best strikers in the world are in kickboxing, in my opinion. If your opinion is different, then you're not going to agree with what I'm saying, and that's fine. But if you want to see the best strikers that use all of their fucking limbs in the world, in my opinion, that is kickboxing. And Alex is, without a doubt, one of the greatest kickboxers in history. There was Jamal made a video where he was talking shit about how Alex was a one-trick pony and how he was gonna whoop his ass, and I just kept thinking, Jamal, you need to take a step in and throw a hook and catch them, and he's not gonna let you do that. That's your only fucking trick, Jamal. That was how I felt watching the video, but whatever. I'm gonna let YB hit it and we'll move on. YB. Maybe not. All right. Trace, you there? Just make sure everybody hears me because YB did not respond and he's got his hand up.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So last one I got off of that card is Kayla Harrison. Andrew. Kayla Harrison wants a title fight, and Amanda Nunes was teasing a return. Which seems to probably be would probably seem to be dependent on Amanda starting to get back in shape now. If she's out of shape a little bit, Kayla winning the belt in July, and then them fighting by the end of the year is my guess. First off, does anybody think that Raquel will even fight Kayla?
It's interesting because Kayla was saying that she's hurt and that she wants an interim title. And then Raquel said, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. We can definitely defend towards the end of the year. But this is Dana's show. What Dana wants, Dana gets. So if he says, hey, Raquel, you're fighting in July, you're fighting against Kayla for the title, or we're stripping you, I think we know what's going to happen. Should we give her the title shot? Yes, absolutely. This is a division that needs revival. We've all agreed on that. Who better to do it than this chick, man? Simple as that.
Well, and I also feel like you guys know that I even try to make sure that we don't dog on fighters for no reason. Everybody's got people they don't like. That's fine. So I'm not trying to dog out the division, but let's be clear. The champion is not the best fighter in the division right now. Not even close. If she doesn't want to fight, you just move on. It's not even like it's nobody is going to be like, oh, but they didn't beat Raquel. That's never going to be said by anybody, bro. Never.
Yeah, I think at this point, and I can't find a more respectful term, but placeholder comes to mind when I think about the current champion. It's just like you said it yourself, she's not the best person in that division.
Hell no.
I feel like she's a placeholder right now.
No way you doing Tiny Tornado's old lady like that, man. What's her name again? Oh yeah, Raquel.
Jeez. That was good.
Oh man. All right. I think
pass that out to Usman, man. Usman requested for that conversation, bro.
Usman, man, good to see you, bro. How you doing?
Man, I only put my hand up to let y'all know that the crazy pepperoni pizza puffs from Little Caesars are pretty damn good, man. They got a good amount of pepperoni in that hoe. They drizzle
Take
some
this
garlic
motherfucker's
sauce.
mic, bro. What
What you talking about, man?
fuck?
I'm about to order some right now.
If you're eating by alone, you're by yourself. They're pretty damn good.
If you don't
Bro,
post
it's like
a
10
picture.
o'clock where you're at. Why are your kids still awake?
We just got home from soccer, bro. Double soccer.
At
I
10
had
o'clock at night?
Yeah,
no.
bro,
It's
that's fucking sports.
It's 8:54 over here, and yeah, one practice started at 5:30, 6:30. I gotta go, man. I'm busy.
All right. Chael and Anderson Silva fight from 117 getting inducted to the Hall of Fame. That's cool. I have no real problem with that fight going into the Hall of Fame. I'm surprised that
It's
fight
weird,
is.
right?
Yeah,
It's just weird.
I feel like there are definitely other fights. I have felt like, and I felt like this previously, so I have felt like they use that spot to put people in the Hall of Fame that they don't want to put in the Hall of Fame under
Like a single fighter?
under independent credentials.
Yeah, I feel you.
I feel like Chael is definitely a guy that's got to be in the Hall of Fame somewhere, but you're probably not going to put him in as a pioneer. You're probably not, so just whatever. I don't want to. I really like Chael, so I don't
You
have.
create your own wing for Chael Sonnen. The talked your way into everything that you earned because the talent really wasn't there, but your mouth was.
Do you guys
No.
like his show with Cormier better than Ryan Clark?
I haven't
No.
watched it, but I gotta imagine you probably get some good trinkets of information from them too, though, or at least some comedy in that manner.
So I liked DCRC. I liked DC and Ariel, and I like DC with Chael. Like, I won't lie, DC's all right. He's a fucking homer, but I like him. He's all right. I get who he is. I think so. Whatever. If you get who he is, you get who he is. So Belal Muhammad, is Connor J still there? Belal Muhammad has been posting some shit like, what did he post? Leon sucks. His coach sucks. His brother sucks. I don't know if he wrote his dad. He wrote something else. A whole bunch of people suck. And here, I got the link. Let me see. I'll read it. So he wrote, load, bitch. Leon, his manager, his coach, his brother, all bitches. Leon replied, all four of these men would beat you in a fight. Laugh out loud, bum. Just raise your hand if you think Belal is actually going to get the title shot. Right on. So we'll just, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I wish there was a shoulder shrug for like who cares,
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Listen, we don't talk politics in here, so I'm not going to talk politically. I'm just going to talk event-wise. So, like, the Manchester card is going to be in an area that is very charged right now. And Belal would be a strong figure for one side of that political charge. And it might seem like, oh, the UFC will do anything to sell. But I think in this situation, they will avoid. If Belal gets the fight, I don't think it's in that region at this time. So I think Belal is going to get passed over. And he should get the fight. Whatever. I talk all types of shit because he doesn't sell or whatever, but they're probably going to put Leon on a stacked ass fucking card, to be honest. If it's not Leon and Tom, it'll be Leon and Ian Gary, in my opinion. And either one of those combinations sells a fuck ton. So, yeah, I think Belal gets passed, man. It's shitty, whatever, but I think that's what happens. What else do I got here? I had went over to that tweet. So roster tracker said fighter removed Val Woodburn, fighter removed Danny Henry. Fighter removed Cynthia Calvillo. Fighter removed Anton Turkali. But UFC roster watch said fighter added Cynthia Calvillo. So I'm not sure which one. Yeah, I don't know. It did not say that she was dropped at any point. So, and they put it out around the same time. So she may have been I don't know. I just put that out there, guys. That's all I have for my run through bullshit. Andrew has fight announcements. Yep, I know a couple of these are going to be hot topics. Andrew.
One second, hold on.
Eating a motherfucking... Bro, you really do eat for the whole space.
No, I'm not eating. I just didn't have the paper in front of me.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Should have had fun.
We don't have many announcements, but obviously we're kind of forced to talk about a couple of them. So yeah, first one will be quick. UFC St. Louis, May 11th. We've got Carlos Diego Fajeda taking on Mateusz Rebecki.
It's not like that'll be a horrible fight, though.
It won't. Just not a lot to talk about.
Agreed. Wait, what side are you on? Do you have a side? Because I'm going to take Rebecki.
I don't have a side right now, no.
Hey, back to the Belal fight. Usman. Little Caesars was close. So I did get a Papa John's pizza instead. All right, go ahead, Andrew.
Man. You guys are just like battling it out for like most mediocre pizza.
And that's because when fucking Andrew was looking for that paper, I was gonna say bullshit. He's ordering himself some crazy pepperoni pizza puffs.
Listen,
Yeah,
man, if you're
you
going to
built me up and
eat...
let me down, man. They closed like 10 minutes ago.
If you're going to eat franchise pizza, it's Hungry Howie's, the 73 pepperoni special, Cajun crust. Get your shit together, boys. If you know they got a new pizza, it comes with
Let me tell you something there,
jalapenos
Joe. As a
and
man from
hot honey.
Louisiana, I ain't ordering no fucking Cajun pizza from Detroit, Michigan.
The fuck out of here. Anyways, fighting out.
I'm actually enjoying this conversation, and you guys are making me hungry.
I'm gonna order a Cajun pizza and end up with lead poisoning.
We're gonna move on to UFC 302 on June 1st. We have our co-main and main. We'll go ahead and we'll discuss the co-main first. It is Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa. Honestly, I think I'm just a little salty because of how good and stacked this last card was, that I'm just like being a little bit unrealistic with my expectations. But I look at this fight and I'm like, co-main event? All right. I know I'm wrong on that after thinking about it, but yeah, I got to be honest. I don't think Paulo Costa is a very good fighter. I don't have interest in watching him fight. Strickland's whatever. He just flies off the handle. That's why people like him. But other than that, I mean, this fight's just whatever to me.
This
Who
fight's
has
gonna be a
anything on this?
banger. It's gonna be a banger, man. Because Costa's gonna give Strickland the exact kind of fight he likes. He's gonna stand there and trade with him, and he's gonna get out pressured, man. He's gonna try to come forward, and Strickland's gonna be the guy that ends up winning with the pressure. Yeah, man. I feel like Strickland takes that fight pretty easily.
Yeah, he's gonna break Paulo. Paulo's not gonna know what to do. He's gonna break Paulo. That he's gonna do to Paulo exactly what he did to Israel Adesanya. I don't even question that. Man, that's gonna be fuck. That's gonna
I
look
don't. I
horrible.
don't think he'll. I don't think he'll finish him for what it's worth. I think Paulo will probably make it all 5 rounds. But I feel like it's gonna be one of those fights where he accumulates some damage. It might be one of those fights that kind of changes his trajectory. Not that Sean Strickland's a super powerful puncher. I just think he's gonna get hit like Max Holloway numbers, like type shit.
It's gonna fuck up his little modeling career. Is what it's gonna do.
Do you guys think that the winner of this fight gets the next title shot?
I think Sean Strickland gets the title shot if he wins.
You don't think Paulo does, though?
No. No, I don't.
That division's still like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I mean, Drake is
Paulo's
going
like
to
that.
take some time off, so I want to say it's him and Izzy next, and then I would imagine the winner of this fight fights whoever wins that one, but it's hard to tell.
Paulo's like that buffer in that division. He's the guy that they put back. Like he's high level. He's high enough level to where he's going to maintain, not lose to bad guys, but he's low enough level where he's never going to be able to finish one of these bigger guys, like these star athletes. So it's more or less like as long as they're able to outwork him and outpoint him, they're going to beat him. So I feel like whenever they set up somebody with Paulo Costa, it's not mostly to get him over. It's mostly to get somebody back right again.
Dead.
I will tell you this: if you go over to capmma.com, the lines, the line tracker would tell you that the people are agreeing with you that Sean Strickland is that he's gonna point his way to the decision, because right now his line is sitting like roughly at around 245, 250. I see as low as like 215 right now on no vig. So, but yeah, the money's coming in on Strickland. So if you guys are interested in playing that, I suggest you guys get into that right now, because I honestly don't see this line getting any much favorable for Strickland on the betting side. Because
God,
this
imagine
is
betting Sean Strickland at minus 250. Holy shit.
Paulo Costa, man. Are you kidding me, bro? I agree with Trace wholeheartedly, bro. I feel like if anything, this is a parlay piece you take right now and just hold on to it. But that's just me.
Joe.
So I was just gonna say, I think if Paulo wins, so just because I've been watching, UFC guy forever, whatever. Paulo is 7.
His rank?
Yeah, he's number 7. So if he fights up to Sean, that is number 1, and he wins, Israel is going to get the next title shot, and I just don't see any way around it. I think they would make Paulo fight back down, and
At
then
number 1?
yeah, I think
Damn.
because of Izzy, that's why. Israel is getting the next title shot.
No, for sure. And I was saying that earlier, but you don't think, because this is what the UFC does, people just sit in line and fucking wait. You don't think Paulo just waits for it and demands it?
No, I think the UFC actually tells him he has to get another one, and I think they make him fight Brendan Allen. It's just my guess. Just my guess.
I hear you. Not too bad. Usman.
Yeah, I like the fucking shit fest that's going on at lightweight. I like what we're seeing here at middleweight. If you zoom out a little bit, we got a three fight tournament going on with Duplessis and Izzy, because that's definitely going to be made 5 rounds. This fight is sitting at 5 rounds between Strickland and Cannonier. And then we're going to see if Robert Whitaker can turn down another prospect coming up when he fights Khamzat Chimeav. I'm not sure if it's 5 rounds, but it definitely should be, especially with the issues that we've seen
Which
with
fight?
Khamzat. What did I just say? Chimaev and Robert Whitaker.
Yeah, that's the main event. It's 5 rounds.
Yeah, man. So I like this little 3-way tournament. I think that if not Marvin, if what's his name, Paulo can beat Strickland, he actually gets pushed back behind the winner of either way. I think actually if Strickland or whoever wins in that fight, they get pushed behind the winner of Whitaker and
Hamzat?
Chimaev.
And
Yeah.
Chimaev?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. I kind of forgot about that fight, to be honest.
If
So that
Strickland
makes
beats the
sense.
shit out of Paulo, though, he's front of the line. I guarantee.
Better. Go ahead, bro.
Better times.
Better? You there? No? Okay.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes. Were you just fucking with me?
No, something's wrong with my Bluetooth, so I had to take it off. I don't know what's going on. But when I heard the matchup of fucking what was it? fucking Strickland and fucking Costa. Like I think that's a favorable matchup for Costa because of the footwork of Strickland. Like his past opponents were always going to be a big problem because Robert Whittaker knows how to move. So does fucking Vettori, but Vettori has fucking a chin on him being able to take those shots. I don't think Strickland is going to be able to take those shots. And I'm actually on Robert Whittaker too against Chimeav. I think both of those two are going to come out the victors. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets the net shot after that.
It will be interesting. There are definitely a few different options. So it is wide open at this point. We will go on to the next one, which is the co-main event of UFC 302. We have Islam Makhachev taking on Dustin Poirier. I mean, this is very simple, guys. Don't overthink it. It's Islam by rear naked choke, and there's no other fucking option. This is strike 3, you're out. That's what this fight is. It's strike 3, you're out. Joe.
So I don't want to cause a huge debate. I just want everybody to answer this. Does everybody in here buy the narrative that Islam is better than Khabib?
1,000%.
So you think he's a better grappler? Like you think he's better everywhere, or just they're different?
I think overall he's better. I would probably give the edge in grappling to Khabib because he's very dominant, especially with his positioning. But I think Islam is a much superior striker.
Okay, so do you think that Islam is a better striker than Dustin Poirier?
Hell yeah.
I think it'll be interesting.
Islam is a better striker than Dustin?
No.
Yes,
Jesus,
yes, he is.
What?
I just think because he has the threat of the takedown, it'll keep Dustin a little bit more modest than he usually is. If he were to face a guy like Gaethje, where he doesn't really have to worry about it, yeah, I think it'll be interesting on the feet because he's going to use the striking to set up his takedowns. I don't think he's just going to sit there and try to bang it out with him. I just think he's going to effectively use the striking to set up the takedowns.
So I think if Islam tries to stand with Dustin, that doesn't end well for Islam. I don't think that Islam can't stand with him at all. But if he tries to stand with him over any length of time, I think that looks really, really bad for Islam. So I think it comes down to the grappling. And so we're saying that Khabib is the better grappler. So are we going to look at the success that Dustin did have against Khabib, or are we going to ignore it and just fuck it? Islam's better, and I'm just playing the advocate here a little bit.
Yeah,
but
I mean, so really the only quote unquote success he had with the grappling was when he got the gilly in pretty tight. But outside of that, it was done. The fight was over after that. Essentially, he was just more so surviving for as long as he could. But yeah, I think Islam is much. What's the word I'm looking for? I think he can 100% finish him on the ground. Like I'm not worried about it at all. Better. Go ahead. Better times.
Oh shit, my bad. I didn't hear y'all. Look, man. Yeah, I will fucking hands down say yes. Islam is the better striker. He just is. Everything with his striking, even though, well, I don't even know how y'all don't think he is, because I've watched him so many fucking times. The dude's striking is A1, man. He fucking, just because he got knocked out one time, I don't know how to explain that. He just got caught. But everything with his striking is timing. Everything is about timing with his striking, and it's always perfect. He doesn't really make mistakes when it comes to his striking. And he will also have the grappling advantage. So either way, he can finish him on the feet or on the ground. He is just better everywhere than Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, and after seeing Dustin get knocked out by that head kick that we didn't see coming, I mean, Islam has that same kick in his arsenal, so it's not like he only has to box.
But look, that kick was set up. Islam can just throw it and you won't be able to see it coming. He doesn't need to throw his hands to set up a high kick. He can just throw it and it's fast. That's the difference. He is faster. His timing is better. He is going to destroy Dustin.
I think it's RNC, bro. I'm telling you. I feel like this is like the Hangover Part 3. Like, you've seen it once, you've seen it twice. You're going to see it a fucking third time, and there's no other way out of it. And Fuego, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, to Joe's question, about grappling, I just think it's a Ferrari versus a Lamborghini, Joe. I mean, which do you think is better? I think it's that close. You know what I mean? But to the point, what have we seen out of an aging Dustin Poirier that makes us think that this fight's going to go any different than it went against Khabib? I don't see the improvement or the regression from Makhachev to even believe that. And I think there's only one man in that division that Islam Makhachev should fear, and that's Arman Tsarukyan.
Right there with you.
See, and I'm glad you bring that up. It'll be interesting, though, because Arman did get asked for that fight, but he doesn't want it on short notice. So I'm curious to see if Dana says, all right, well, fuck you then, and kind of puts him on the stairs.
Justin got offered that fight too.
Who?
Justin Gaethje.
What?
Yeah, he got offered it before this fight. He said it in an interview leading up to during fight week.
He didn't want it?
No, he doesn't want to fight him.
Fair enough. I get it. I mean, he realizes he can't beat him. There's no shame in that at all, bro. There's no shame in that.
He was basically just saying so he was offered it. He was offered it if he won. So I didn't say it correctly. He was offered it if he won, and he didn't want to do it on short notice.
Right.
And he assumed that it would be overseas and just some other shit. And he was just like, no, I'm not going to take it. So they knew up front he wasn't doing it.
That's fair. Usman.
Yeah, from what I understand from the Gaethje situation was that, and this is just what I've seen online, was that Ali Abdelaziz was the one that was kind of pushing him towards the Max fight, because he didn't want to take the Islam fight, or he was pushing him away from the Islam fight, shall I say, and saying like Joe just said, you're gonna get it if you beat Max. Second of all, I guess for the whole Khabib Islam comparisons, I think the biggest difference in their grappling is that what's it called? Islam is more of a control and submission threat than Khabib. Khabib was a lot more willing to just beat the shit out of you. And when it comes to the striking, man, yes, obviously Islam is a better striker than Khabib, but I don't think that always works in a positive way, in the sense of like Khabib striking was so unorthodox, even the way he moved his head and shit, that it was kind of hard to hit him. Because Islam striking is a little bit more polished, there are your opportunities for a power striker to go in and get them hits. And I know Volkanovski is a pretty good striker himself, but we did see Volkanovski hit him pretty damn good at some points. And I think, like I said, because he's more of a polished striker, there's more patterns to pick up, and then there's more opportunities for a Dustin Poirier to get the shot in. But we know what's gonna happen. It's just it's Islam by submission.
Bro, I feel like you're trying to sell me on like melted ice cream over here.
It still tastes good. It still tastes good.
Joe, go ahead, bro.
I think you guys are absolutely fucking insane.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think if Dustin is a 10, and I'm not saying he's a 10 like boxing level, I'm just trying to create a scale. If Dustin is a 10 striker, Islam is like an 8-5. I'm so convinced that I'm thinking about taking some time this week to post an Islam blooper reel and tag every one of you motherfuckers in it, because he shows his ass with some fucking horrible strike or some fucking horrible combination at least once or twice every fucking fight. He looks uncoordinated, dumb as shit when he does it, and you're like, bro, what the fuck was that? He does it every fight. Like, he's
I
not.
didn't say that he was a better striker than Dustin. I said he's a better striker than Khabib.
Okay,
I
that's
don't
fair.
I don't agree that he's a better striker than Dustin.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think he's not a top high level striker, but like, if he wants to stand with Dustin Poirier, he should just hand him the belt, because there's just no fucking way. He's not. Dustin is not Volk
Who
that
do you have
took that
winning that
headgear.
fight, Joe?
What's that?
Who do you have winning that fight?
Dustin's going to get beat by rear naked choke.
Okay.
I agree with you 100%. I'm not even questioning it. Like, if you're going to bet Islam, bet the rear naked choke, because that's how it goes down.
It felt like you were trying to sell me that Islam's going to try and like strike the whole fight. And I'm like, I don't know where you're getting this idea from, but
No, I'm just saying that we have to look at, like, everybody's just writing it off. And I'm just saying, like, if you look at, I mean, there was some success with Khabib in the exchanges, the scrambles. He was able to get on his back. Like, Dustin isn't like shit level, and he's been training for years more. So I'm just saying, like, there is the big difference for me is the takedown. The takedown level that Islam has is
yeah, it's
it,
just too obvious right now.
it's
Dustin's
probably.
what, 35 years old, and he's going to go against the fucking best, arguably the best grappler in the world? Like, what are we fucking talking about?
Yeah, like, I'll be honest, like, where I think Islam is better than Nurmagomedov is in the ability to take them down. And someone else already said it, and absolutely control them. He didn't, you know. Khabib would actually absolutely control them, but Islam will get it done. He will get down, and he will get your back. He will, I don't know. I do think that he'll get it done. Man, I bet you that Islam ends up at like minus 400 or something. I just don't think it's going to be justified. He'll probably open at minus
Well,
3.
that's why I'm just going to take the submission prop and say fuck it, because you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the only thing that's really playable.
Yeah.
I'll leave this one alone, but I want to let Aussie go, and then I'm
Yeah,
done.
Ozzy's going to close it out. We're moving on to the next fight after that.
Yeah, because this is all you need to hear, guys. Poirier guillotine choke. This is the one that gets it done. He's due. He's 0 for 20. He's going to get it on that last chance. He's going to get the belt. He's going to hit that fucking guillotine choke, and he's going to laugh at everybody who didn't bet it, because he told us last time he's definitely going to go for it. So that's
Bro,
going
I'll
to.
tell you what, if in some fucking house, some way that actually happened, I promise you that would be the #1 selling shirt for like the next year. Guaranteed. Like
100%.
people would just eat that shit up, bro. People would eat that shit up.
If I can bet, like, they don't do it here. I've heard that DraftKings does some different props in other places, but I'm sure they won't do it here. But if they let me bet whether or not he attempts a gilly, I'm fucking betting it. I'm fucking betting it. I swear to God, because he's at least gonna attempt it, even if he's
That's
about to
funny.
get. If Dustin's gonna get taken down, he's like, well, let's hit this gilly.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to the next week, June 8th. The event is to be determined. We don't know where it's going to be. Just 2 fight announcements for this card. We have a rebooking, or I guess a rebooking of a fight. We got the kid, Raul Rosas Jr., taking on Ricky Tercios. Let's see if it actually happens this time. And then...
Bro, I'm taking Ricky now. Like, I think I was taking him before. I can't really remember how, because I remember looking at that fight. But since I'm taking fucking Ricky. I don't know who you guys are taking, but I'm taking fucking Ricky.
So, yeah, I think after his first UFC fight, when he just completely shit the bed and was like punching air and stuff, I was like, yeah, I'll never put my money on this guy ever. I can't do it. I'm not saying I'm going to bet Raul Rosas because he was like minus 250 or some shit. I would probably just lay off this fight because there's no way I can put money on Ricky Tercios. That's
I can
insanity
get
to me.
Ricky Tercios at plus money against Raul Rosas.
I was on Tercios in the beginning because they were fighting in New Mexico at the elevation, and I just knew that he was going to out cardio him. But with it being not that high of elevation, I don't know that his cardio will. I mean, he's still going to push a high pace, and he can still break him. But I'm thinking with it being not at high elevation, I'm probably on Rosas there.
Yeah, Tercios better hope that Rosas doesn't get his back because if he does, I think it's over. I do.
Rosas better hope he gets Tercios back because if he don't, he's going to get beat the fuck up.
Oh, yeah, but that's the thing is Tercios' takedown defense is fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think the side is fucking Rosas Jr. Like, the dude's grappling is legit. We all know he underestimated how good Christian Rodriguez is, and he completely fucked himself in that fight. But other than that, the striking, Ricky has good striking, but fucking, I don't know how to explain Rose's striking. It's just very fucking weird. But it's effective because he just uses it to set up his grappling. And we all know, like, when it comes to the grappling versus Ricky's defense, it's Raul Rosas Jr. is the side to bet on.
I think the word you were looking for to describe it was horrible. I think.
That was clever. We have one more fight announcement for that card. I don't know if he got released or what, but we just have not seen him in a long time. I'm pretty sure he was fighting in a different promotion. But Miguel Baeza is back, and he's going to be taking on Punahele Soriano. I have to analyze this because Baeza likes to get knocked out, and Puna kind of likes to knock people out, but he hasn't looked very good lately. So I'm going to have to watch tape and analyze the matchup.
I just want to know I'm wondering if you're holding the big one for the end because
I
you know
am.
that people are going to talk about it, or if you are trying to avoid it altogether.
No, it's the last one on the paper because of that, and then also because of the date. I try to go in order of dates.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So we have two more fight announcements, both of them for UFC 303 on June 29th. That is International Fly Week in Vegas. Cody Durden is out of his fight against Carlos Hernandez. So stepping in will be, I want to say it's Riai Suraya. Suruya. I don't know. He's Japanese, I think. It's hard to say his name. Sorry.
Okay. So
All that shit you give Joe.
Bro, this is a tricky one. And then last one, we have the main event for UFC 303. We have Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. That's all I got, guys. Joe, what you got next, bro? What you got next, Joe?
Crickets.
That's all I got.
All right, my bad. I thought I was unmuted there. So, all right, 170 pounds. I originally was of the thought that if it was at 155, Mike had real advantages, speed, power. If it was anywhere above that, Conor's advantages would just grow to the point where Mike wouldn't be able to really overcome them. But I think Conor's been on a lot of fucking sauce, and yeah, that's what I think. And I will
Let's just
not bet
broaden
this
that
fight.
term to a lot of drugs.
Yeah, I will be betting the fight to go the distance. No, I can assure you that, or some variant of that. But I definitely cannot bet Conor, and I don't know. I would like to see some Mike leading up to this. I would like to hear a little bit more of what he tells us now. Like, he was trying to protect his rep a little bit, catching tons of shit for holding out for this fight, but I wonder if he's been in camp for a year. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Mike's that guy. So, yeah, there's some factors here before I know if I'll bet Mike, but I'm definitely not betting Conor.
I'm probably picking whoever at dog money on that fight.
Guys,
Oh,
we're
man.
done. We're
Well, shit, if you go over to capmma.com, uh, dog money is still shit money. Conor versus, so the average odds 23 books for the last 11 days. That's the new line on it. That's gets rid of the old one that was set for year end. Conor averages minus 118 and Mike averages minus 106. Yeah, they're not going to give you anywhere to make money as far as getting real dog money on either one of these guys. Yeah, I can't see either side at like you're saying, at basically favorite money. I know someone is still the dog, but if I'm taking fucking flatline, if I'm eating the vig, yeah, to me that's shit money on both sides. Better times.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah, I
Okay,
got
cool.
you.
I put y'all back on my Bluetooth. Look, first off, Ray Ciryl against Carlos Hernandez. Dump all that money on Ray. That dude's legit when it comes to his grappling. As good as Carlos Hernandez's defense is, which I'm like him and Christian Rodriguez, I look at them as one of the same. They have the best striking base I've ever seen because they know it allows them to fucking throw their offense at great timing, but also defend takedowns when they get beat to the hips. It's amazing. I love watching both of them. But Ray Ciryl is the real deal. Dump all that on him. For Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler, we all know Michael Chandler's not going to wrestle. If he was, then he would be the side to bet, but he's not. Skill for skill, I still think McGregor has it. Now, we all know what happened on the second fight with Dustin Poirier. He did not expect that to happen, and he wanted out, and he got knocked out trying to find a way out. That third fight, that motherfucker was tuned in the whole fight. The times he was doing good and the times he was getting his ass beat, he never looked for a way out. If that McGregor shows up, he's knocking Chandler out. Guaranteed.
I think I will say this. I'm going to consider betting the under 0.5. Um, Conor is going to come out and he is going to look for the punch and he is going to try to force it. Like, I'm not even talking shit. Like, better. I know you're a tape guy. You can't tell me Conor doesn't come out and try to force land a power strike in the first 60 seconds of every fight. And he
Yeah, he
extends,
likes to
actually.
use his length to
Yep.
frustrate his opponents.
Yep, he extends when he does it. It was fun. You said it right over me, bro, and I'm not mad, but he extends when he does it. I think that exchange on either side, either way, I think that exchange right there could be the last exchange of that fight. If Conor clips him, I mean, come on, let's be honest. Conor could probably, if he comes in big, he could probably drop anybody at 170. If he hits him clean. I also have to believe that Mike could drop Conor. If Mike can throw a short combination with everything he's got, 170-pound Michael Chandler probably fucking walking in the cage at 182, 183. Yeah. And don't think that Conor's going to walk way bigger than Mike. So Mike knows this for sure. This is why he's willing to do 170. He said this months ago. Conor only walks at about 186, full weight. Conor only walks at about 186. Mike walks at like 183, I think he said, or 182. So he expects that even with full resizing, Conor's only going to have 3 to 4 pounds on him. He thinks, and I have to agree with his logic, Conor's not going to gain extra weight and slow himself down to come into this fight. He's just going to hope to make the weight cut to 170 and then walk at full weight where he feels big and strong and powerful. And I know everybody's like, no, that motherfucker's a heavyweight. No, he's not that tall and shit. Mike's probably right. He probably walks around 185, 186. Yeah, I think that exchange could be the last one. And I think both of them guys look big and strong. It doesn't make any sense at 170 though. I hate that Connor's fight. It's fucking stupid. I'm skipping fight week for the first time in like 10 fucking years because it's fucking stupid. That's all I got. I know Usman, who fucking dipped out. He was
telling you, bro. It was nice and easy. No one gives a fuck about that guy anymore. Let's move on. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be a big hype event, so there's not, you kind of have to. We're not going to be able to avoid it. We can hate on it all we want, but now that it's booked,
I'm just hoping for a Michael Chandler victory, so we never fucking have to hear his name again. Because if he loses, there is no fucking way he fights again. There's just no fucking way.
If he gets flatlined.
If he loses in any way, unless it's like some controversial shit to the point where they might have like a rematch or something.
So can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Do you think Mike could beat Connor on the scorecards?
Oh, I see what you're asking. Oh, fuck you, Joe.
I'm just asking.
No, you have a good point. I didn't really think about that.
Connor can just go into survival mode talking about I can run like Chelsea and it won't matter. I'm getting this dub. Fuck this. Ozzy, go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick. I think McGregor, as long as he's still breathing, there's always an opportunity for that Diaz rematch or the Poirier rematch. There's a reason these guys haven't fought yet. It's always there for the backup plan. When they've got nothing left to give, they got one more shot at those fights.
Yeah, so I've been saying this for so long that, like, I feel like I've blown it from the trumpets. The third Diaz fight happens in boxing. It does not happen in the UFC. I've known that since before Nate boxed. I've known that since before Nate boxed anybody. I've known that for a long time. As soon as Nate said, I want to get out of the UFC and box, I knew what that's about. You want to get paid with Conor for that trilogy. Not even a question for me. Not even a question for me. And he can force the UFC to let Conor negotiate and maybe take a fucking piece or just let Conor do it. But Dana White's going to be real upset if he doesn't get a piece of that trilogy. He can say that fight's not relevant all he wants. He is going to be really fucking upset.
He's getting a piece. He's definitely got Conor locked into some kind of fucking retirement deal. They probably gave him a 10-fight fucking 10-fight deal or something like that. They didn't.
No, Conor's almost out of contract. He's got 2 left.
Conor's out of contract in 2 fights.
Yep. They're saying that's why they're holding him up. That they were starting to speculate that he was being held up because the UFC doesn't want him to get out of contract, and he wanted to fight twice in 2024. And if they can't re-sign him, then then by 2025 he would be a free agent. So that was speculated for sure.
That's insane. I don't think they can re-sign him. Why would he re-sign when he can do boxing? We've seen the numbers that Ngannou was doing.
He can do boxing.
They're gonna have to throw such a bag at this dude, and yeah, that's gonna be insane. I can't believe how'd they let that happen? Get down to 2 fights. He renegotiates every fucking fight. It's a negotiation, and I can't believe they're not adding fights to his deals.
Yeah, he's
a smart businessman. If he's not locked in, he's very smart.
He's not. He's getting close, but he says he wants to re-sign with the UFC. He says he wants to do that. Trace, what you got? But I heard you say you had a question.
Yeah, just my question is, I know Tapuria is never going to be the man on the mic that McGregor was, not just because of the language barrier, just because I just don't think he's as sharp with the tongue as Connor was or is. But is Tapuria the second coming of McGregor? Is he the Spain's version of McGregor? Is he going to be the guy that's able to do all the stardom shit, become huge, become fast, lead a whole another nation into like their own little, I guess, Spanish. I don't even know what you would call it, conquest into the UFC and kind of change the platform or the land of MMA over there. Does he do it? Do y'all think he can? Is like I mean I know he's like I said he doesn't sell in the same way, but I mean I think as far as for like what he's going to be able to do in the UFC, I think he'll transcend Conor in that sense as far as like the titles and the reign as far as that goes.
So I would honestly say
I know it's a different weight class as well.
If he knocks out Max Holloway, which come on, let's be honest, I'm not saying he would. Like if he could pull off an amazing feat like that and then defend 2 more times, I think 100% he could be that.
I guess my question is, can his star power rival what Connor's was, or can it exceed it?
No, but I think his pay-per-view power could. Conor McGregor is a household name all over the entire globe.
Yeah, I don't necessarily mean like in the same way Ronda Rousey was. Like, I don't mean like because for what it's worth, Conor McGregor hasn't been Conor McGregor for a very long time. Like since the
that's what I'm saying.
Since the Khabib fight, once you took that mystique and that took that W that in the UFC anyways that you kind of kill the mystique and he's just kind of been, I don't know, man. Like I said, it's people have said it better before. The whole it's hard to be a dog when you're sleeping in silk sheets or whatever it is, however it is that goes. Yeah, man. I don't think that Conor is what Conor was anymore. I think as far as like the reign, like how long he'll be able to maintain at the higher level, I think Tapuria will be able to do that for a longer time for sure.
Conor has one win since Obama was in the White House.
Yeah, but
like I said, I don't. That's why some people. I don't understand the star power. I feel like the star power died a long time ago. It's mostly people that were fans that are still hanging on to him. For me,
it sells 1 million pay-per-views, guys. He still sells 1 million pay-per-views.
Me personally, I was a diehard McGregor fan, like most people were, and then it's just since where for the last few years now, or more than a few years now, I've just been over it, man. I've just kind of wish he would just let it go and move on, and the sport move on, and quit bringing up like, why does everything have to be Conor McGregor? Like I get it, he set the standard or whatever, but at some point you kind of got to move on and let the sport evolve.
Yeah, I think that Dana tries to not play Conor up for that reason. I think Dana understands he has to get the other guys over better.
To answer that question, I believe he has everything set in motion right now. He's gonna be Max Holloway. His toughest test is gonna be Movsar Evloev. But I think the one thing that's probably gonna hold him back from like superstardom is how comfortable he is speaking English. If he can just get more comfortable speaking English, then I think that's when we'll start seeing everything change for him, because that dude is as legit as it comes, and I believe he probably has what it takes to become double champ. But I think for the attention, like everyone has to speak English because that's how you get notoriety. So if he can just become more comfortable speaking the English language, then I think he can become just as big as Conor McGregor, if not bigger.
Anomaly, but I will point out one time where that's not true that I can think of right off the top of my head, and that would be Charles Oliveira. Charles still can't speak, and I mean he's beloved by fans of all ethnicities, all all backgrounds. I mean, he's just universally loves. But
Charles
I do,
doesn't
I
hold the
do,
top 20 pay per
I
view.
do get what you're saying though. Like it is like without being like you said fluent and just capable of having a real conversation and making points in your in the native tongue or in our native tongue. Yeah, it's going to be a hindrance for him. In Fuego.
Better. I know you've said that about Evloev before, but what what you witnessed Saturday night, you can't still think that Evloev's a tougher fight than Holloway for Tapuria, right?
We lost him on the mic, so it's got to wait back. Wait till he gets requested back through. Excuse me. In Fuego, what else you got?
I just maybe I'm the only one on here. I just don't care about this fight. I just don't care. These two are irrelevant to me. Maybe that's just me.
No, it's
They're gonna
fair.
sell, like Joe says, they're gonna sell 1 million pay-per-views, and that's gonna be cool. Two roided up dudes gonna go in there and throw hands. That's great. I mean, I think Chandler's 2-3 in the UFC. McGregor beat a washed up Cerrone. I mean, I know it's a business, I get it, but I just don't care. I really don't care.
At this point, I'm really just shocked they're not throwing Tony at Connor. That's just kind of like where I'm at with his career in a whole. Joe, I know you've been trying to get on the mic for a second. My bad, brother.
Oh, I don't care. Go ahead, Trish, because I'm going to respond to
No,
that.
I'm done. I'm done. Go ahead. I do have another talking point though. If we have something, if you don't have nothing for after this.
Tony is if Tony got a knockout in his last fight, he might have got the Connor fight, and that's no troll. Think about that. If he would have got a knockout win in his last fight, they'd have probably gave him Connor. Or gave Connor him is probably the more appropriate way to say that. Usman wanted to talk about Ocho Cinco, or whatever the fuck he calls himself. Thinks that he could beat Max Holloway in a boxing match. Or in an MMA match. In an MMA match. Bro, what the fuck?
I think Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson, if you don't know, I think he's just trying to stay relevant in any way possible nowadays.
Did you see Shannon Sharp laugh at him?
I shared it into the chat. Y'all, yeah, dude. That interview had me rolling. Shannon Sharp. I don't always like him, but he had me rolling for that one.
Oh, he fucking cracked me up, bro. He was like, in 30 seconds, I'm mortgaging everything I got and betting it on Max. I was cracking up.
He said he'll whoop you and two guys that look just like you.
That shit was great. Fuck, I was dying. I watched it like 3 times. Trace, I heard what you said about a topic. Just the last thing I got, I'm bringing up Usman shit now, but he ain't getting on the mic. Gegard Mousasi says the PFL is refusing to honor his Bellator contract. They feel like I'm getting paid too much. They don't want to give me fights. I just read verbatim the MMA Junkie post on it. If anybody can grab that out of the chat, maybe I can pin it from my computer here. Let me see if it'll let me do that. I don't like to steal people's stuff. It's on MMA Junkie. No, it's not giving me the option to share it to the fucking chat, man. Like, why?
You could just
There it goes.
comment.
No,
Okay.
no, not at all.
Comment the article into the space post, and I could pin it
All
up.
right, I got it right here. Just to give them credit. Anyways, Gegard basically says that they don't want to pay him. And they don't want to let him fight. And I bet he's not lying. B, I immediately question if the PFL has money problems. What's the big deal about paying Gegard whatever is?
I will say this about Gegard, is he has always been about his money. He left the BFL, the UFC, while he was still doing great in the division, like in the prime of his career, left Bellator because they were offering more money. He's always been more about his money first. So if he's bringing up that they're not paying him his money, I fully believe that, which sucked, man, because Gegard's a fucking legend of the sport. For by far, was always one of my favorite fighters of all time. I've spoken about it before. I believe he belongs in that GOAT conversation because he's fought everybody and anybody, and he deserves whatever he's getting paid because of the amount of fucking blood and shit he shed, and other people's blood he shed to get to where he's at. He's got like a fucking crazy record, like 40 and like 40-6 or some shit. Just off the top of my head, true legend of the sport, man. He deserves whatever he's getting as far as money wise, and they should pay him.
So I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna let him Fuego get it, and then I'll double back so everybody can get their shit out.
Well,
first.
this is funny, Joe. This is about kind of what you were saying. So at the post 300 press conference, Dana was asked about the PFL, and we all know that's going to set Dana off big time. But he was asked kind of if he saw the card Friday night, and first of all, Dana called it PF Bellator, which was funny. But
Stop right
he,
there. They said they coined that for Dana White.
yeah,
I'm going to go back 2 weeks from here, and I'm going to find in the space where I said PF Bellator first. I got it typed out in my fucking notes. Coined it my
I give
dick.
you credit because it is funny. But what I was going to say was Dana said that. Now I don't know if this is true, but that PFL was offering buy 2 tickets, get 2 free for the event Friday night. Does anybody know if that's true? Because you damn well know they have money problems if they're
If
giving away
Dana said it,
tickets.
it's true. He's not going to say. He said, I'm not busting. That's what he said. I don't know. He said, I'm not busting on those guys.
Yeah,
He
that's what
said,
he
that's
said.
a
It was
real
kind of funny.
offer. So I immediately question if they can't pay Gegard Mousasi, you don't have the money. It's just my question. Unless Gegard is trying to go over to season format, and which case they probably can't because remember when they paid Pettis all that money? Like they paid him, it might have
Like
been
400K a fight.
Yeah, but the way that worked is it was still only $1 million plus a possible, I think it was a $50,000 or $100,000 bonuses if he hit all of his bonuses. So it was only 1.05 or 1.1 million total, no matter what. He just got his on the front end because he was such a big star. So like he got the majority of the money from what he explained to Ariel. He got the majority of the money. So like to get all the way to the end for him, it wasn't another $1 million. It's $1 million total if you
Essentially,
win
they
the
got a signing
season.
bonus.
But it's your season can be worth $1.1 million if you get all of your bonuses and make it to the end. It is not your pay plus $1 million check at the end. Your season can add up to $1.1 million. That's it. That's it. It's so Pettis got like 800 and something grand for 2 fights or some shit because didn't he lose and they got him back in or something like that. But he got like 800 G's out of them somehow, some way, and he didn't give a flying fuck because to fight again was worth way less money for him. Usman,
800K to get his ass put by collar, boy. My bad, Usman.
nah, you're good. You ain't lying.
No, yeah, no, I would have definitely assumed, considering like Bellator did build themselves around Gegard for quite a while. He was a long-time champion for them. He was basically the first UFC fighter that they acquired. Um, like that wasn't an old washed dude. I would assume Gegard was getting paid pretty damn well when it came to Bellator, and I'm sure a week down the line we're gonna see Don Davis on Helwani's show, and Helwani's gonna ask him about it, and he's gonna pull out some shit about. Well, the problem is he wants to join the season, and we don't have a middleweight uh, tournament,
Three of
so.
his fi- three of his fights will exceed the season salary cap, which isn't fair to other fighters.
Yeah, and then considering the fact that Gegard's old, but he probably still has what it takes to make it into a final. Um, yeah, that really just shits all over the whole thing. Also, they're probably gonna say we want to save him for a title fight on the Bellator Series Championship, whatever the fuck they call it, and that probably won't be until December or some shit like that. Like, this is
But it
just a
doesn't even.
very
They
it,
can't. Go, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, Usman. Go ahead.
No, I'm just to quickly end it. It's like we've already heard some of these lower level fighters talk about how Bellator fighters, how PFL was fucking them over here and there, but this
Cyborg's been having issues.
yeah, but we've seen like I can't think of the name right now, but he was a lightweight fighter who didn't get to make the cut into the tournament, and seems like he's just getting fucked over and not getting paid for anything because he's not going to be on a Bellator card either. He was complaining about it, but that's my issue, and what I'm trying to say is that I can't even remember what the fuck his name is. This is the first big case because I mean, yes, Cyborg is having her issues as well. But if Don Davis wants to be an asshole, he could just say,
Talking
"Oh,
about
well, she
Gabriel
had
Braga. You about Braga?
no. It was a Bellator fighter."
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But like a PFO can easily say that Cyborg was having the same issues with Dana, and she's just hard to work with, and blah blah blah, this and that. But like this is a really big Bellator name that they've built their like they built that division around him, who's saying I'm not getting any opportunity to get paid. Doesn't seem very fighter friendly, if you ask me.
Listen, I explained this to everybody in the beginning. I am proud to keep hammering on my soapbox and to be proud that I said it first because I really feel like I did. This whole thing is a scam. Bellator's already done, guys. It's over. Here's something. PFL will not get 1/3 of the amount of people to tune in for a Bellator card that were tuning in. And I would bet money on that. Nobody's going to watch because it's over. Nobody cares. I was a dedicated Bellator fan. I'm not tuning in. I don't care. Bellator's over. Oh, this person's the champ. But they are, but they aren't. PFL's taking their divisions apart. They're trying to sign everybody out over to PFL contracts. They're slowly converting Bellator over. If you look at the Bellator website, it's now PFL all over it. Like Bellator's gone. It's just a tournament. It's just going to turn into one of the tournaments by next year, and it'll be gone after that. And that's if PFL is even still fucking around. PFL is, man, this move was about locking fighters up, not letting the UFC, if Bellator went belly up, not letting the UFC grow their roster. This really was like I'm sure Don Davis promised the fucking moon. And from everything we've seen, he is not delivering. Yeah, PFL is fucking trash for their fighters. PFL is. Can you guys find me any interviews where anybody talks highly about PFL? Because I can find one where Kayla Harrison says she's waiting a little while and then she'll tell all, and jaws will drop. So I'm just trying to figure out because it seems like he's a fucking dirtbag over there. Whatever. They want to give me media credentials. I'm like, I'll still go maybe, but like I've emailed. So here's the funny thing. PFL invited me to a press. I get their emails now because I emailed them or submitted the thing or whatever, explaining that, I Cap MMA, our little brand, gave it a quick little spiel and said that I would like to interview Don Davis, but I literally wrote in my article, in my little letter, I would like to interview Don Davis, but not on the premise that Ariel Helwani does, on the premise that I think PFL, and I laid all out just what I said for you guys. And I got, in response, they started inviting me to their media events. That was the response I got. So, and I basically, at the end of it is an email, that I submitted, I said, it'd give Don the opportunity to explain to me why I'm wrong. I'm a non-believer, is what I said. Whatever, man. I feel how I feel. Gegard is now old enough, though, that if they give him an 18-month problem, what does that look like for him? I mean, how much longer does he have? It's Chris Cyborg. They stretch her ass out for these 2 years, give her one fight. What's left if she goes to the UFC? They don't need to fight these guys. A lot of these guys are older. A lot of the star value, the name power, they just don't want the UFC to get it. Because Gegard now in the UFC would be very questionable. Gegard in 2 years, nobody will take it serious. I don't know. I just see it. It'll pop up more and more and more. And as people with big names like Gegard said it, so somebody else will say it now. Like when someone of that high a profile has the courage to say it, others, if others are being treated that way, the dominoes will fall. That's how I feel. Trace, what was the last thing you had, bud? Because that's going to be it. Trace not there.
We're good, man. You can go ahead and call it.
Damn, bro. You don't want to talk to me? That's some shit.
No, it's not really. Nobody in here that really talks boxing, really.
Well, what is it? Are you talking about Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney?
Yeah, I was curious how much y'all think of that as actual
We
real.
can talk about that.
How much of y'all do y'all
We can
think?
talk about that a little.
How much of y'all do y'all think of that? Do y'all think is real, or is it all? Or is he laying it on thick just for fucking to go viral?
I think he's laying it on thick, but I think he's starting to get into it, like, which is not a compliment. I think, like, maybe, I don't know. I think Ryan Garcia is getting knocked the fuck out. I think he is going to get beat up. I've watched his spiral here. I think a lot of the shit he is saying that are people like, he's fucking nuts. I actually think he's not nuts. I actually think that he's probably telling the truth about a lot of shit. When the media says someone's crazy overnight and everybody has 27 videos to make them look crazy overnight because they fucking went off the rails in one video, it's the same thing as Conor McGregor, right? People still say his name because it draws views. We could say we hate Conor McGregor all we want. Conor McGregor shows up in this space, he changes our brand forever. That's the truth. Conor shows up here, gets on the mic for 10 fucking minutes. He would change our brand forever. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to sidetrack on that. I feel like some of the stuff that he says is true, but I think he is off the fucking rails, and I think Ryan Garcia is going to get knocked out. What do you think, Trace? You're muted right now? Am I alone?
Nah, Chase isn't talking. But I mean, if Chase doesn't have a piece, then I mean, I guess I could spit a little. I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I mean, I'm not gonna get it deep into it, but I mean, yeah, I like you said, when the media is like, it's like, trying to make someone look crazy overnight, in the matter, just with them videos, like, I mean, I'm not saying we're the smoke just fire, man, but we're the smoke just fire. And I mean, Ryan Garcia, I mean, he's been through all that, Instagram, like all that celebrity, clout, since he was a fucking, I guess a youngin', man, like, cause you got to be honest, like, I discovered this guy because of, the Instagrams, the TikToks, and all this crap, like, but and then, he we started watching his fights, and the next thing you know, this guy's like everywhere. So I think he is off the rails, man. I do think it might have to do a little bit with drugs, maybe a little bit of alcohol, but at the same time, I mean, I feel like he's probably coping. He's probably coping,
So
and I don't think this is gonna end well for him. In terms of the fight that he has coming up and in terms of his career overall. I feel like this could be his demise, if anything, because I don't see how this could possibly, be positive for him, in the
So
end.
I think some of what happens is people get clickbaited. That's kind of where I was going off the rails with the Conor thing there, right? Like Conor gets clicks because he's famous, right? So everybody wants to get those clicks. Ryan Garcia went off the rails a little bit. He went off the fucking rails, let's be honest, but he kind of went off the rails. And because he's dealing with some of the influencer crowd, it's even worse. Everybody posted it. They made it go viral, and then they made him look a certain way, and Ryan didn't respond well to that. He posted a bunch of videos talking about how he's not crazy and how this and how that and how this and how these people are trying to make him look this way and that way and this way and that way, which was all true because everybody wanted the clicks. But it got to him. And now I think, like I said, some of the shit he says he's seen or done, I think he's exaggerating. I don't like to call anybody a liar if I don't know them. I've never met the man, so I'm not going to call him a liar. But some of the shit he says I think is true, but I think he has been clickbaited, bro. I think they got his ass shook. I think he is fucking crazy. I think when he's doing all this weird shit at this little interview, singing or whatever, I think he's really coming unhinged. Due to the clickbait shit, man. I can't. Fucking sucks. I liked Ryan. I still do. Like, whatever. I don't know the guy, like I said. So I still think he's a good-hearted person. Like, in all of this shit that he's broke down that I've seen and all of the everything that I have seen, Ryan Garcia is at least trying to operate on a good moral compass, or what I believe to be a good moral compass. I believe there's probably some things behind the scenes that he's not holding the same standard for, but whatever. I don't know what his drug problem is. I know cocaine is out of your system fairly quickly for drug testing if you're an athlete, and yeah, I don't know what he is doing, but fuck something. Trace, you there, bud?
This guy's the one who wanted
Yeah,
to talk about boxing.
I'm
And he
still
goes
my
off.
kid.
I know you are. But that's all I got. So I want to let Trace get on the mic before we get out of here. But it's a short one tonight, boys. I liked it though. I think I babbled a little too much more than I like, but man, it was a good space for no fights coming up. And Fuego, what you got, bud?
Yeah, quick question. Did Gary Covington get announced? Is that official?
No,
And
it did not.
if the talk's there, where are they talking about doing it at?
So I think my personal opinion, I'm in a chat group that like guys who travel to fights everywhere, and we were talking about it, and I personally think that if it's not under Conor, it's the Manchester card. But it's either the Conor co-main or it's on the Manchester card. That's my opinion. If it's getting booked. But I will say this: if they're gonna try to bill, so here's my thing. There's just no title fight, right? It's a pay-per-view we got to pay for with no title fight now because it's Conor fucking McGregor, right? So I guess probably Colby Covington and Ian Gary on that card would make sense.
Are we also gonna bank the fact that Meatball Molly will be on there on the Manchester card? So we got to see her ass with a fake belt.
Yeah, that's probably where Paddy fights too.
And Jai Herbert, after all his losses, he'll be on there.
Yeah,
and the list goes on and on.
Yeah, I was just gonna. Yeah, we can name off half the card right.
So hey, one more question, and this is totally two questions, and then I think you're trying to close it up. But has anybody heard anything about free agent Paul Hughes? What's going on with him? He's the big free agent on the market right now. Anybody heard about UFC signing that guy from Cage Warriors?
No, I haven't.
No.
Didn't he fall flat in his Contender Series fight?
No. That was George Hardwick.
Yeah, George.
Paul Hughes is a stud. But anyway, and the second question, there was some criticism about the pacing of 300. Did you guys feel that? I didn't feel it in the stadium, but
I felt like it was slow. We were bitching that they were dragging their feet. Especially in the prelims, we were bitching they were dragging their feet. Not the early prelims, the prelims. We were bitching over here at my place. Me and my friends that were watching it, we were bitching. I didn't think it was bad though. I didn't feel like it was like that lady at the presser said with the because you had to fit more advertisements and this that. I just feel like the event was so big, everything was a little bigger. They let them talk a little more. They do a little more cinematics, panning. They do everything is boosted up a little bit, so it just drags the show. I just felt like it's a natural thing with a huge card. That was just how I felt.
And one more thing for me, did we always just underestimate Wei Li Zhang's grappling? I mean, like, holy shit.
No, we all knew.
She is damn good on the ground. I mean, yeah, she's shown it a little bit here and there, obviously, but damn, she looks good.
I said it, and I think everybody else in here said it, that that's how she would do it. It was pretty simple. Ozzy, what you got?
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, on Wei Li, that was heartbreaking because I heard it by sub at 7-1, 8-1, and even 10-1. But yeah, so that was fucked. I thought she got it twice, to be honest. But yeah, and Fuego, I was just going to ask, how good were your seats there? And if you've been to other events, like how different was it?
Yeah,
That 300.
so I've been to some pretty good events. I've been to Covington Usman 2. I was at Derek Lewis, DC in Madison Square Garden. I could go on and on. This felt different. This one had a crowd, an hour ahead of time out in the, if you've been to T-Mobile, out in that courtyard area, and Uncle Chael and Anthony Smith and all those guys were out there doing the show live. I mean, it just felt different, right? The aura, I don't know. You guys go to some of these events. For the prelims, people usually don't go, which is crazy to me. I go to all the fights. It was halfway full for the prelim for Figueiredo Garbrandt, which you typically don't see. The crowd was getting fired up. So
I've been to, I would say probably, I've been to a bunch of cards. I don't even know how many. Not like, I know I haven't hit fucking 20, but I'm over a dozen. I'm fairly confident. I've seen it a few times where people are piling in. A good main event with a solid card always gets people to pile in by the end of the early prelims. Yeah, I've seen the media out there in the front. I've walked up to the desk. I don't know if that's the way it was for you, but it was like what I call a big event.
You asked me about my seats, so I'll reveal a little bit about myself. So I'm retired military, but I can get tickets through a thing called VetTix, which the UFC typically, if they don't sell enough seats, they give tickets to VetTix, and I can get my tickets for $14.99. All I pay is the tax.
Yeah,
Right?
they used to do that for a thing called locals only or some shit in Vegas.
Yeah.
Because when I was out there in Vegas, a guy waiting to meet Donald Cerrone, a guy in line was telling us, he's like, I don't know if I'm going to the card. We're like, how do you not know? And he's like, well, there's this fucking app we get. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you got to verify you live here.
Yep.
All types of shit. He was like, but once they're locked in, he was like, when anything doesn't sell out or there's any extra tickets, and that's what he was saying. They get them absolutely ridiculously dirt cheap. And then I talked about it in this space, and a bunch of Vegas people jumped on me because they're like, you can't tell us the app, it's not real. That shit is real. That fucking happens. And I'm glad that you brought it up, and I was only brought my shit up because finally someone else so they do it for vets. Where were
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah. So I bet 7 of my 10 or so events, I've gotten tickets from Vet Tix. So yeah, the UFC just gives over leftover, like 200 leftover tickets, and you got to be a verified vet. You got to, there's a whole process, but you have to bid for them. You get so many tokens per month, and then you got to bid on these events. So the wife and I, Joe, just like you were saying, we were holding out until Saturday morning to try to get tickets off Vetix. And this happens on occasion. It doesn't work out. So I bit the bullet and paid $1,200 for 2 tickets in the 200 level. So if you've been to an event at the T-Mobile, you always have a pretty good seat to see the octagon. So it's never going to be terrible.
You said you were at 200. I know where every
Yeah.
section in the building is.
Yeah, so I think wherever you get a seat in the T-Mobile, you can see the octagon. You can see, the UFC does a good job of having all the big screens above the octagon and big
Yeah,
screens
I've told
throughout
that
the
to a lot
stadium.
of people.
Yeah, so
I agree with you.
you're never gonna have a problem.
I try to sit in section 8, 9, 10, that area. Like, I feel like that's perfect because I'm only
And
like 5'7", so
you know
sitting down
what,
any lower, I can't see shit.
Aussie, I was sitting there Saturday morning, and it was getting to be 11 or 12 o'clock, and I didn't buy the tickets yet. And I looked at her and I said, "What do you want to do?" And she goes, "We're at UFC 300. Why in the hell would we not go to the event?" So I just sucked it up and bought the tickets.
Yeah, good on you, man. Good on you.
That's all right,
Unbelievable.
bro.
What an unbelievable card to be at, man. Like, you would have really regretted not going. So I'm glad you went, man.
You want me to make you feel better than Fuego about your
What's that?
$600 purchase? I paid $6,000 for 2 tickets to Mayweather versus McGregor.
Yeah, that does make me feel better. Because I did look up the floor seats for 300, 2,500 a piece. And I'm not gonna lie to you boys, I was tempted. I was tempted to be on the floor, but then I remembered that I have a kid in college that I'm paying for, and I went, nah, I can't do that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fucking, all right. That's all I got. Trace, are you
No,
there?
What up? I see him Fuego threw his hand back up again.
no, I didn't mean to,
We're
Trace. I'm
done.
sorry. I was just trying to give a thumbs up, bud.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man. No fight this week. We'll dive into the card next week. We'll do some early tape. Hopefully, get some early lines out. Maybe we'll jump into it next week. Good conversation tonight. And yeah, it's good to have everybody out there. Joe, you got anything you want to say?
Hit the website. Everybody in here knows it, and I've been promising it forever. But there's links now where the tail of the tape is being implemented. So I'm really, really hoping for next week's card that we will have our own tail of the tape. Also, our tail of the tape, it'll include an odds search, which is really shit on our site. I haven't had any time to improve it. It'll include PFL, side-by-side fighter comparisons, UFC side-by-side fighter comparisons, one championship side-by-side fighter comparisons, or you'll be able to check a scorecard box and search a fighter's name. And right now, our scorecard catalog is about 3,000 scorecards deep. It's probably one of the deepest scorecard catalogs that anybody's holding right now. Yeah, so it should all be here by next week. I'm really excited for it to roll out. There'll be a couple of other new features that come with it, but that's the majority importance of what will be there. I've gotten all new ranks. Like, if you're looking on the YouTube right now by any chance, Dead Pix is going through like the UFC rankings and the PFL rankings, and that shit's all live But it just kind of looks like ass. You know, you got to build it, then you refine it. So I've got all new rankings, all new leaderboards, all new everything that'll be updated with it too. So I'm really excited. I'm really, really hoping to have it by next week's space so we can talk about it. That's all I got. Everybody check out the site this weekend, though. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Check it out for next week's fight. So hopefully I deliver. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Thank you, boys, for showing up. Thank you, all you guys who come and fucking stay the whole time. Thanks to the host. I appreciate everybody, man. Weeks like this are rough, but I thought it was a good conversation. I really enjoyed myself.
100%. CapMMA.com, CapMMA.com on the TikTok as well. Yeah, man. If you ain't already following us, give us a follow. We've been putting out some good stuff on there.
Hey, YouTube, follow us on YouTube. Find us on Rumble. We don't have any videos yet. You can cut me off anytime, Trace. But we have a Rumble. We're gonna have, I don't know, we'll be on some find us on Facebook. We don't even use Facebook, but fucking find us on Facebook because we have a Facebook. Just follow us. Who fucking cares? It's not like we post anything and you got